I guess I'll show you the deck list real quick, but I'll post it on Masterduel Meta once I hit dual level max, and they'll let me. It's also in the Discord, in the Masterduel Discord. If you go to the Egyptian God channel deck, and here it is, and you might see Sky Striker is my latest deck. I think probably I'll have myself do it next season, a Silver 2 Master rank with Sky Strikers. Okay, here's the current deck. No Max C. That's just my tradition. It just doesn't work for me. But as I said, you can add or substitute it if you want. Raw package is very minimal. 1 True Sun God, 1 Ancient Chant, 1 Raw, and 1 Guardian Slime. So, no Phoenix mode, and 1 Sphere mode. No Phoenix mode, though. Phoenix mode's a brick. Almost never use it. You've got too much else going on. Pretty standard Marincess package of 2 Mandarin, 3 Seahorse, 3 Blue Tang, 3 Spring Girl, 2 Pascalis, and a Bacilla Lima. Very standard. You could maybe add 1 more Pascalis. You can maybe, some people add Sleepy Maiden and take out a Mandarin, whatever. That's up to you. Some people run more than 1 Ran Agarine, but in this deck, space is really tight. So I've kept it at 1. I have a Kaiju this time around. Sometimes you just need to take out a Baron or something. It's still a pretty good card. I've got Nibiru in here. And then I got a bunch of board breakers. Dark Ruler, Duster, Lightning Storm. 2 evenly matched. Evenly matched is just very good in this current climate, this current format. Just 1 Imperm, 1 Droplet, which is pretty good now that Kashtira is rare. And as I said, you may want to add another Cosmic Cyclone or 2. Again, I have no problem playing pure Marincess. If you want to play pure Marincess, take out the 5 raw cards. Maybe add 3 Max C and 1 Cyclone and 1 more Dive. And then, hand traps. I've got 1 Droll and 1 Ghost Bell, just because this can sometimes just win you games if you're playing against the right deck. And this is very effective against Lab. So if you see a ton of Lab in your games, you may want to add another Ghost Bell or 2. Okay, well, welcome to another Marincess and Winged Dragon of Ra video. Today, we're going to be looking at some matchups from the World Championship qualifier event. I've gotten all the way up to dual level 16 so far from dual level 6, since I haven't played ranked on this account in a couple months. And at the rate I'm going, I should be able to hit dual level max very soon. I'll post the deck list on Masterduel Meta once I do that, and I'll have the deck list at the end too. And so yeah, we're just going to go through some typical matchups, and we're going to start with a couple matches against the dominant deck, which is Snake Eyes. Now, you may notice in my videos in general, in the last few months, we don't see a lot of matchups against Snake Eyes, and I've said this before, and I'll demonstrate it with this game. The vast majority of matches where I win against Snake Eyes, it's because I simply negate their starter and they don't really have any starters left and they just surrender. So it's not very interesting. It's not really a good learning opportunity, since it's very intuitive when to stop their combo starters. So I'll give an example of one of these kind of boring victories here, just to kind of show you what I mean. So I'm going first, and I start off by pitching Bacilla Lima for Rain Agarine's effect, and this is also a common theme in games in which I win. I stop Max C. I do think there's one win that I had where I won going into Max C, going second, or was on turn 3 or something. So I am running one copy of Rain Agarine in my deck, and running, of course, Geimer Agarine. Destruction Protection's pretty good in this meta, and I've got Blue Tang, so I can just pretty much do a full combo. Generally, I don't like ending on Great Bubble Reef like we're going to here, because all it takes is one Sinful Spoils of Subversion to break your board, but because we have Geimer on the board as well, it's going to work. And in this version of the deck, I only have one copy of Marincess Dive, and that actually makes it, in my experience, it's made it a lot more difficult to play into Ocean and then Aqua Argonaut, because you just don't have Dive in your hand all that often. So if there's one change I might make to this deck list, it might be to add back that second copy of Dive so I can play into the Argonaut line more often. Okay, so just doing pretty typical stuff. Got our Link 3 Coral Triangle out, picked up the trap card. Spring Girl. We're going to put Spring Girl back in our hand just to have a combo starter in our hand should we survive. Or I'm sorry, I put Blue Tang back. And right into Great Bubble Reef. So this is a pretty good end board. Destruction and Banish Protection and Invincibility with Wave. Hopefully they don't have Sinful Spoils of Subversion. We have a further Hand Trap and Ghost Bell. And we get to draw a card. Okay, they start out with the Field Spell. And I just decide to banish it off the field and get some form of protection going. They've got Snake Eye Ash in their hand, which we negate. And here we are. We are stopping their combo from even starting. They have 3 cards. I mean, I don't even know what these cards are. Maybe they've got, like... Oh, if they'd evenly match a Crash. Okay. Yeah, they're not even hand traps. They would have used him. Really bizarre. Okay, so I did pick up Ancient Chant here off the draw, so I decide to use it. And you'll notice this in the games where I do Summon Ra, is I do a lot of comboing. Instead of just tributing the first 3 monsters I can into Ra, I do a lot of extra comboing, and I'm just being extra cautious. I want to set it up so I have a Link 3 or higher on the field, and Wave, so I can protect my Winged Dragon of Ra against, you never know when someone has Effect Veiler in their hand, or Ghost Ogre, or something like that. So here, I'm going to try to summon Seahorse now, and tribute these 3 and keep these 2 on the board, with Ra on the field as well, but my opponent just surrenders. So, prime example of just stopping the combo, and nothing interesting really happening. I kind of want to know what their deck list was. What was maybe in their hand? Can I see that? No, can't see the deck list. Okay. Here's another game against Snake Eyes. This one is a little more interesting. A bit more action in this one. Another theme. I go first, and you could probably predict with this call by the hand what's going to happen. There it is, Max C, which I take care of. I am not running Max C, as is traditional. I'm not running Max C in this deck list, but if I weren't running the Winged Dragon of Ra package of 5 cards in the main deck, I would probably be running 3 copies of Max C and 2 more copies of Cosmic... Well, or maybe 1 more Dive and 1 more copy of Cosmic Cyclone, which is an excellent card right now, especially with the addition of Fire King, where their field spell is all important, but they have Destruction Protection from that continuous spell of theirs. So they played Roland Lockbird. This normally would be a minor problem, but we happen to have Marincess Wave in our hand, so we're all good. But I bring out Coral Triangle anyway, just so we have some recursion next turn if we need it, which we may very well need it if we survive. Try to get some more cards in the graveyard. Get one. And put Spring Girl back in the hand again to start a combo next turn should we survive. And then I go into Crystal Heart. Then I go into Aqua Argonaut. Alright. See what they've got. I know what they have. So, that is very unusual. I will say this is very unusual. I don't think I've ever seen a Snake Eyes player use a board breaker like this. Really sets them apart in probably a bad way. Alright, so I immediately negate in my head. If they're normal summoning Poplar like this, they don't have a good hand. But it's kind of bait. I guess you could, I do prevent them from getting Wanted or Subversion, but they have original Sinful Spoils in their hand already, so they are going to get some kind of combo going. So maybe jump the gun a little. You could argue I jumped the gun on using Wave, but in these situations you do want to make your other monster invincible as quickly as possible. So they go straight for Underworld Goddess, just tributing off my Aqua Argonaut. My Coral and Enemies unaffected, so they have to destroy it by battle, and I have most of my life points left. And we get another turn. This is completely winnable. Okay, evenly matched is useless. This is one of the drawbacks of the Battle Ocean going first, is very often this is left on your field and it prevents you from using evenly matched. Alright, so I use Coral and Enemies effect. I know that they're gonna negate it. That's fine. It's much better. I've got enough in my hand that I'm more concerned about them negating Coral and Enemies effect or Dive's effect than I am Coral Triangle. And so we do have to play around Link Kuriboh tributing off Flameburge and then trying to do something after Flameburge goes to the graveyard. I just don't think they can really do much of anything useful that will help them survive, because at the end of the day, I'm going to hit them with Zelantis and the Waterlock. So I bring back Guardian Slime that was milled. Pick up Ancient Chant. We do have pretty low life points, or lower life points, so that is a hindrance to an OTK with Ra, as you'll see. But we're just going to keep going through and wipe the board with Zelantis. Egyptian God Slime's a water monster, so it can be banished and it will come back. I put Wave back in my hand rather than another monster, because, again, I'm concerned about Link Kuriboh coming out to the field and reducing one of my monster's attack points to 0, and I want to be able to negate that effect. And here I've already used my other Link 1, so I just keep Great Bubble Reef instead of Coral Triangle on the field. There's our field wipe. You'll notice that Underworld Goddess didn't go. So I could have used Wave on Goddess to negate her, and then she would have been banished like everyone else. Because she's unaffected by your opponent's activated effects unless they target. So the Battle Phase effect will take care of her. And again, I want to save it for Link Kuriboh if it came back, and try to use its effect. Alright, there's our Ancient Chant coming down. Don't forget to banish it if you're going to use it. And again, I could have used the Battle Phase effect, but I didn't. I mean, I still win because they're down a lot of life points already. You know, there's something satisfying about using an Egyptian god to punch an old school Egyptian god to punch a modern day Yu-Gi-Oh goddess in the face anyway. All right, but I could have used wave on her, wiped her off, and that would have been just fine. All right. Let's see. These two are against Tier. Let's go with this one's a little teeny bit interesting. And then there are a few more in my recorded matchups. Oh, here we go. We're going second. All right. Start with Rhino Heart. I, could have ashed it, but I want to be a bit patient, and I am afraid of Max C, to be honest. Kit Kalos, I'm really just not concerned about whatever they're going to put on the field. I don't care if Rukalos hits the field. My plan was to hit it with Lightning Storm if Rukalos hit the field, and then when they use their effect to come back, I would just hit them with Called By. Although they end up setting Crime, so that wouldn't really work. But as a backup, I also have Droplet, so I could always stop Rukalos from using its effect to stop a special summon, no problem. And then I still have Called By to take out any other fusing they try to do on my turn. So I was just satisfied to, and I could always, use Ash Blossom to stop a mill too. So they go for this kind of unusual line of Grapha, and then they automatically use their Shuffler in the graveyard. These Shufflers are actually really, really bad for Marincess, because you do need to revive monsters from your graveyard with Dive and with Coral Anemone, and these can disrupt that. And of course also to equip if you've got Battle Ocean. But they just use this impulsively. Doesn't make sense to me. So we've got Grapha, we've got 1 Tearlament to keep Crime alive, and we've got Time Thief Redoer, so nothing too scary. I draw Imperm, I just use it on Grapha to burn its effect. And they've got another Shuffler, so we're maybe going to have to use our Called By on that. I just hit the monsters, because now Crime's dead. I stop the mill, and I guess they erroneously believe that putting Catch Tier or Tearlaments into the deck will let the mill go through, but nope. And they've blown their last piece of disruption. I can just combo with Impunity, unless that one card in their hand is Nibiru, or some other kind of disruption. Alright, just doing a pretty standard combo here. We are going to end on Great Bubble Reef. Do not quite have the gas to do an Argonaut line or an OTK line. Coral Triangle. Put a card back. Pitch it for the trap, but we between Droplet, Called By, and Wave, we just have enough to stop whatever they're going to try to do next turn. They've used a lot of resources. And I draw another Ash Blossom, perfect. So I just let this go. They can only try to fuse once per turn with each, so we just stop it. Then they can't chain Havness next turn either. And we just want to stop the fusion now because we don't want Crime to come back alive because they put a Tearlament monster on the field. Maxi. And good thing I held on to Ash. They just surrender. Okay, let's go to our recorded matches. Really not great play on that one. Oh, no, let's go to match. Oh, no, they're in my recordings. As you can see, I'm in gold. I played a little bit of ranked. I was playing with the loner decks, the Cyber Dragon deck. Okay, yeah, we watched that one. Let's see. Let's start with this one. I think this is against Exos. Let's try to find the Exosisters one. Okay, so not the most amazing hand. Yeah, I'm 90% sure this is the Exosisters one. Not the world's best hand. You don't really want Winged Dragon of Ra in your hand at all. And we just have Mandarin here, so it's tough. There we go. Coral Anemone. And I bring back Mandarin. And I could have pitched Guardian Slime, but you really don't want to do that. For one thing, you don't really, Ancient Chant is a dead card, and you're kind of relying on the True Sun God to protect you from attacks. I would rather keep it in my hand, so I have a little better chance of surviving. And it turned out to be a good choice here. Okay, so we've got 2 Elises on the field. We've got Exosister, which Exosister counters Marincess pretty hard. And we're just going to have to hope that Wave by itself can handle them. So we've got Caspatel, and this is what makes Exosisters not far from a top tier deck, is really just one piece of disruption can put a stop to their entire combo, which, Marincess isn't a top tier deck either, but usually you can play through one piece of disruption. So whenever you see more than one trap, I think it's safe to assume that at least one's an imperm, no matter which deck you're playing against. I don't know if it is here, I don't remember. I was also very afraid one of these was Exosister Returnia, which would be very disruptive. So I'm trying to put as many bodies on the field as I can, just to be able to play through Returnia, see if I can bait out Returnia with Crystal Heart. So far, no dice. See, I'm keeping that Crystal Heart on the field to see if they'll bite. Okay, Marbled Rock. And they hit me with Solemn Judgment. As you can see, that Crystal Heart does not protect you from Solemn Judgment, which is stopping your summon. And that just ends my turn. I can't even beat over the Caspatel here. And this is not something I've ever seen in an Exosister deck, is Time Thief cards. Okay, Michaelis. So, I don't totally agree with how they play this, to be honest. If I were the Exosister player, I wouldn't have bothered with banishing Coral Anemone, at least not with Michaelis. I probably would have banished... I mean, I don't know what this set card is or what these two in the hand are, so I can't be certain. Maybe can I maybe deduce it. No, they don't. I don't get to know. So, based on hindsight, I maybe would have banished from the. I would have banished Coral Triangle from the graveyard to trigger Martha's effect, and then I would have picked up the trap card, Returnia, and set it and just crushed me on the following turn, rather than what they did, which they, I think, erroneously believed that they could OTK me, because they pick up Pax, and they use Pax to pick up Stella into Gabrina, and then they go into Magnifico. And, okay, they hit me, and then I play Guardian Slime. True Sun, again, they could have banished True Sun God and gotten, you know, another attack in, but then they wouldn't have been able to banish Guardian Slime. So I still would have lived. So here, now, yeah, this is where I play through Max Seat. Now I get to use Coral Triangle. Do they ever play this? And, see, if they had set Returnia, they could have triggered effect number 2, Exi Summon, and then gotten 2 more banishes. 2 banishes from Returnia and a banish from Michaelis, and that maybe would have been enough to beat me. Okay, so I keep going. Alright, I put Marble Rock back into my extra deck, and then summon her out. And we're not doing anything you haven't seen. They only have 3,100 life points left, so just bear that in mind. There we go. There's our Zelantis. We're wiping the field. I really just do wonder what this was. Maybe it was cross out? Oh, it was evenly matched. Terrible. So, yeah, I would have played that differently as the Exosister player, but I am viewing things with the benefit of hindsight. Let's see. We have some real brawls here. 7 turns, 6 turns, 5 turns. That was 5 turns. Let's go. All right, going second. No Marincess cards. That's why it lasted so long. And oh yeah, that's right. This is a decent match to view. So we're playing Mikankos. Never a good sign. If they're pitching us Gamma, that means they have another one. And so you can Ash Gamma. The issue is that if you do, and you can also Ghost Bell Gamma, but it's not a hard once per turn. So they can use it again. But I thought it was completely worth it to hit them with Droll and Lockbird against Mikanko. And in hindsight, that was the correct choice. So absolutely nothing. I am going to have to, I don't even, you know, okay, arguably a mistake. But, I mean, what, Guardian Slime might help me survive? What is really going to matter is a well-timed Nibiru here. So it's not just Mikanko, it's Mikanko Infernoble. So they are still bricked. So they just go into DPE. This is very annoying. And they get rid of True Sun God. Okay. And DPE is very, very obnoxious. It's hard to deal with. As a Marincess player, Called by the Grave is one of the few ways you can really deal with it properly. But even so, This player seems to know Marincess. They're very patient. So they don't even hit me with DPE's effect here, which would have been a perfectly good place. And so I go into Crystal Heart. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to bait it out. And does not fall for the bait, pops me here. Again, probably, you know, perhaps optimal to knock out the Coralline enemy instead. Then I'd have no bodies on the field. Then I hit him with Called By. And that DPE is not going to be bothering us anymore. Alright, one summon. Oh, Road is a good card. So, now we're going to have to let them combo for 7 out of the usual 10 minutes, and then hit them with the perfect Nibiru to win the game. Okay, I'm going to fast forward through this stuff. Yep, stuff. Infernoble stuff. Infernoble stuff. More Infernoble stuff. Wow, didn't pen summon. How exciting. Okay, 4-3-8, they can't summon Baron to stop me. And here we go. And as soon as Promethean Princess hits the field, I'm hitting us with Nibiru. I do not want any other bodies on the field that they can use to... I want no bodies left on their field for Promethean Princess to target. So I just hit it here. So Crystal Heart is only unaffected by your opponent's monster effects, not your own. So it does get hit by Nibiru. Maybe could have held on to the Duster, because that field spell is not doing anything. But here we go. Okay. And we get to combo here on turn 6. Not much they can do. They are down life points, and they just surrender. Quite understandably. Let's see. Let's see if I can find a Winged Dragon of Ra win. I think maybe this one? I do. Alright, I'm going second. Good healthy mix. Oh, that's right, Resonators. Okay. So this is a deck, this is another rogue deck you'll see quite a bit of, is this Archfiend deck. It's okay. It's not that intimidating. They summon 10,000 times, they spend 10 minutes, you know, one Nibiru finishes them off. You know, or a well-timed Ash Blossom even can really be a problem. Or a well-timed Ghost Bell, because they need to keep getting their tuners from the graveyard, generally. But they've got this Bestial engine going, which I'm not sure I've seen too often, but makes sense. Okay. And this is like the least intimidating Archfiend endport I've ever seen. We just hit him with the Evenly Matched. Evenly Matched will win you a lot of games. Again, I don't think I have any Rescue Ace matches here. I think I only have one Horus match, just because a lot of the times, like, for Rescue Ace, they'll set all their spells and traps with Turbulence's effect, and then you just evenly match them, and then they surrender. Horus, same thing. You hit them with evenly matched, they'll just surrender. Nothing to see there. So their board is looking very vulnerable, but you'll notice in these games where I do summon Ra that I really go out of my way to be cautious and try to be able to use Wave, because you never know when this is an effect veiler. I know I keep saying that. But you'll see in one of my previous videos, I summon Ra and they get hit with Effect Veiler. So here, I didn't summon Ra because I used Evenly Matched. We're past the battle phase. So I just put Great Bubble Reef on the field and pray that I survive. And they summon Bestial Despoter, and they try to summon another Red Dragon Archfiend from their extra deck, but we stop that with Called by the Grave, and coincidentally, that use of Called by puts Great Bubble Reef over Despoter's attack points, and he can't even take out Bubble Reef this turn. Okay. As I said, they combo for 30 minutes. Okay, not really that good. He's not going to be inflicting any battle damage. Sorry. Just a perfect target for Sphere Mode right here. Okay, so I use its effect to trigger Despoter. I've got Basilalima in there, so Great Bubble Reef does stay on the field. Then I just for fun, I Kaiju the Despoter, and in case I do need to go into the Zelantis line for some reason, Kaiju will show back up on my field after the Zelantis wipe. Uh-oh. Wait, my computer's not properly plugged in. Exciting. Well, I think we can get through this duel. So I've got 3 bodies on the field. And I just summon Ra, smack the Kaiju to end the game. Very satisfying. Alright, give me a moment. Apparently I have to see to the plugging in at my laptop here. There we go. Let's see. There have to be a couple more good games in here. Oh, I think, is this the one against Cyber Dragons? We get a good mix of rogue decks and conventional decks in this WCS. That's always true when you're in a dual level max kind of environment. And it makes for some fun matches. Okay, not ideal to have Ra in the graveyard, but better than in our hand. Alright, we've got 1, 2, 3 pieces of Disruption at the ready. I just let that go, that's fine. Don't need the draw. Lightning's... how annoying. So I try to stop them from getting King Sarcophagus on the field, but to no avail. They just have an answer for everything so far. And it looks like I'm going to be finished off, but I just wait until they're hitting me with an attack to use Wave, and suddenly they can't beat me down, and they've lost half their life points. So they try to hit me with the old SP Little Knight. And they also know, I've got Sphere Mode in my hand, so they don't want 3 bodies on the field. So I use Bubble Reef's effect, knowing that SP Little Knight's going to hit me, because I'd rather not use... I could use Dark Ruler instead, but I want to finish the game this turn. So here we go. We're going to pick up Battle Ocean here. And they only have 38. A lot of my opponents paying LP in this in these matches. Interestingly, really makes life easy for me. So just pick up Wave just in case, and we're just gonna wipe him, and just boop, boop, and just play Blue Slug, and that's gonna be enough to end the game. Where's the Cyber Dragon one? That one's kind of funny. Just because that's a game in which I would lose. I would have lost. Except I was saved by True Sun God. Yep, this is it. Because I remember. I used Ranagirine, and we got True Sun God. And here I just pick up Guardian Slime so I can use it with Ranagirine. And you know, a season or two ago, this just was not, this actually made you very vulnerable to put Geimer onto the field along with your Marincess monsters, because there were a lot of Mikanko players who would run Lava Golem and would just tribute your two monsters. It's very unfortunate. Alright, so here we just are content with Coral Triangle, Wave, and Geimer Aegirine. That should be enough to, and, you know, with True Sun God, this should be enough to survive. And I do kind of misplay here, to be honest. Like here, I probably should have hit this with Wave to make my monsters invincible, but I knew that this continuous spell was going to be played, and I'm like, I'm just going to negate it with my Vanish. I wonder if is this guy using the structure deck? I think he is. And that's why I should have used Wave earlier. I don't think it would have prevented my Coral Triangle from being tributed, but it would have prevented my Geimer Aegirine from being attached as material to Cyber Dragon Infinity. So here I am, saved, and I know that Nibiru is going to get negated. I just want them to detach a material to make it a little bit easier on me. Alright. And Ancient Chant. And they negate that with Infinity, and that just makes my job quite easy. Because now I can just use Coral Triangle's Graveyard effect. And we're still gonna bring out the Guardian Slime, or sorry, Egyptian God Slime, and the Guardian Slime, just for fun. I want to show this Cyber Dragon player that I'm a little, you know, that I'm a bit of a old school player myself with these God cards. And I didn't know what this face down was, so I was another reason why I was extra cautious. Is I'll admit, I was intimidated by that face down. You know, if someone's willing to play Cyber Dragons, they might be willing to play Magic Cylinder. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing everything in my power to make sure that I actually do win this game. So just put some cards back, bring back a level 3 Link. I don't know why I used all 4. I should have been able to use just Marbled Rock and one other, but whatever. There we go. Wipe the board, and then pop. Remember, True Sun God applies to both of you, so you want to use Zelantis' Battle Phase effect on True Sun God. Turned out it was a bluff, and we win the game. Alright, well that's enough, as I said.